The books you bought from what you raised in your Twitter handle, I just saw a link to that, was the Trump endorsed Bible. That's $60 a pop. There are many Bibles available.
A bad situation for the country to be in if people don't trust the people in these positions. And that doesn't mean that they don't have to live up to a certain standard.
President Biden promised that in the final weeks of his presidency, he was not going to take his foot off the gas, and he is holding true to that promise because Biden is making sure that he takes every step possible to safeguard against Donald Trump before leaving the White House. And as you would expect, that is driving Donald Trump crazy because specific actions that we are going to get into in this video taken by President Biden and Senate Democrats are making Trump lose his mind on Truth Social, and we are going to cover all of that. But before we do, if I quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, to hit that subscribe button, it goes a long way, and it really means the world to me. Now, like I said, President Biden's still moving forward with his agenda, and in one specific and incredibly important area, and that is the judiciary. Because President Biden, even in the lame ducks, still has the ability to appoint and confirm judges, and that is exactly what he is doing. And we are going to get into Trump's Truth Social meltdown over that. But before we do, Rachel Maddow provided some really important insight into this that I want to check out right here.
You may have seen that Trump put out a statement online insisting that even though he's not in control yet, even though the Democrats right now control the White House, President Joe Biden is still president, even though the Democrats right now have a majority in the Senate, still Trump insisting this weekend that the Democrats should not be allowed to confirm anyone, including any Biden-appointed judges over these next 2.5 months before Trump is actually sworn in as president. And as an assertion, that's nuts, right? You're not president now, my guy, and Republicans don't control the Senate right now. So you and Republicans have no control. You have no say over whether or not Biden and the Democrats choose to pass more confirmations before you take power. You don't get a say in that. You're not in power yet. And to be clear, after Biden won the presidential election in 2020 and Democrats won the Senate at the same time, when the Republicans were on their way out of power and they knew it, they had a gazillion confirmations. They confirmed at least 32 people in that time period after the 2020 election, everything from the Surface Transportation Board to the State Department to the Federal Reserve to the DOJ to the Tennessee Valley Authority. They confirmed more than 30 people to jobs like that after Biden and the Democrats won the 2020 election, but before Trump and the Republicans had left town and handed over power. They confirmed tons of people after they lost the election in 2020, before the Democrats came into power at the end of January 2025. The idea that it would be somehow improper now for the Democrats to do the same thing, for the Democrats to spend this next 2.5 months confirming Biden nominees, including judges, say that there's something wrong with that, or Republicans should stop that, or the Republicans can stop that. It's just an absurd suggestion. Republicans confirmed people at great speed after they lost power in 2020. Democrats will do so, presumably with equivalent speed right now after they lost this election. The White House at least said they would do so today in a statement brushing Trump back, telling him to back off his threats to try to stop these confirmations even before he is back in power. But here's the thing that I really want to point to here. Along with that absurd bluster from Trump, where he's trying to pretend he's already in power, right? Telling Democrats to behave as if Trump's already president and Republicans already control the Senate, which they don't. Aside from that, which is pushing it, big guy, Trump also said one other thing about confirming people for positions in the government. He said he wants the new Senate, once they're sworn in January, to go into recess. He wants them to recess, to leave town, so that there's no Senate in session to confirm his nominees for the new administration. Now, on the surface level, you might think this makes no sense. Republicans are going to control the Senate when they're back in January. It's not like Trump-era Republicans are known for their independence and their willingness to buck Trump's wishes. Right? Whoever Trump wants to appoint to his government, no matter how crazy, the Republicans in the Senate are going to approve everyone he asks for. What do you think? They're going to be offended, right? Somebody like Tom Homan, oh, he's been spending time with the Jews did 9/11 guy. You think that Republicans in the Senate are going to have a problem with that? Really? I mean, he's going to have a Republican-controlled Senate. They will confirm his appointees no matter who they are. So why is Trump now telling the Senate to go into recess, to shut themselves down so they can't vote to confirm his appointees? Why is he doing that? He's doing that so the Senate won't have to vote to confirm his appointees. If the Senate is in recess, he can make recess appointments. He can just install people in their positions without the Senate ever voting for them, even though the Senate would definitely vote for them if they took a vote. He's telling the United States Senate to shut itself down so he can operate independently and on his own. Even though they don't have any intention of stopping him, he doesn't even want to give them a say.
So, Maddo hitting on two really important points there. The first, that President Biden absolutely should continue to confirm judges. Donald Trump did it himself, including Eileen Cannon in Florida, the judge who has corruptly made sure he can't be prosecuted for his classified documents case, but also that Donald Trump is doing everything he can to preemptively attack and dismantle the power of the Senate. He promised to be a dictator on day one. Republicans seem to surely let him do that, but President Biden shouldn't, and that's why they have to continue to move forward. And that's why Donald Trump is melting down in Truth Social. As we can see right here, Trump wrote, "The Democrats are trying to stack the courts with radical left judges on their way out the door. Republican senators need to show up and hold the line no more. Judges confirmed before Inauguration Day." So Donald Trump now unsurprisingly demand that Joe Biden not be allowed to do what he did during the end of his presidency, and with all presidents do, and confirm their judges that President Biden had previously already nominated. He's not jamming anyone through, he's just going forward with procedure, as all presidents have already done. But hypocrisy is no surprise for MAGA, and we're seeing it a lot more lately, and that shouldn't shock us. But where we're especially seeing it is in an area where Republicans love to complain about athletes using their platform or their voice to share their political opinions. When they were talking about President Biden or Vice President Harris, it was a big problem. But now that they're doing the Donald Trump dance, that this thing, I don't want to describe the motions of this, they're loving it. And that is exactly what Jessica Tarlov called out. Not only Republicans at large, but of course her co-hosts on The Five in this clip right here.
So I guess we've gotten to the portion of the Trump era where we have moved past shut up and dribble, and now it is fantastic for athletes to be talking about their politics or expressing their politics, because that was one of the critical points when Colin Kaepernick was kneeling, when LeBron James was speaking out. And I get it. Donald Trump wants to take a victory lap, and he won, and he should. And I think that liberals are doing the right thing, and they are thinking about how his coalition was formed, what part of our coalition was lost in order for him to make that win. But I don't think that kind of bragging that the people who don't consume the news are the ones that are winning in this, because that is dangerous. And I'm not saying that there weren't people on the news who misinformed their listeners. We're going to be talking about this in a later block. I think that a lot of people did their fans or followers a big disservice there. But it is a bad situation for the country to be in if people don't trust the people in these positions. And that doesn't mean that they don't have to live up to a certain standard. But I do think that's dangerous. And there was a new study out about the majority of people who voted for Trump rely on friends and family.
But how is it? Can you just tell me, you say it's dangerous. No one ever asked the follow-up question. Can you tell me how it's dangerous?
Well, we're going to also talk about RFK Jr. later. I think vaccine skepticism is dangerous. Also dangerous to be on TV and not speak English properly. I think those kinds of things are dangerous. I think that there is a rumor mill that goes around that it would be better if you could turn on the 6 o'clock news and know that you were going to be told the truth about that.
But I mean, the
the
real danger is telling, people that there are millions of.
This is likely, and unfortunately, a lot of what the next 4 years are going to look like. It's going to look like us having to call out Republican BS, their hypocrisy all of the time. And Jessica, of course, doing a great job doing. So, but we have to point out when we're calling out this hypocrisy, what is so ridiculous about it. And I love to use the example of Taylor Swift, someone that MAGA lost their mind when she was using her platform to talk about politics. And I kind of want to put politics in quotes because sure, Taylor Swift endorsed VP Harris, but mostly what she was saying when she was encouraging her fans to get involved was to register to vote. MAGA lost their mind. Now people are doing the Donald Trump dance. You see NFL players or UFC fighters putting on MAGA hats in the ring talking about him publicly, and they're fine with that. So MAGA doesn't want people to register to vote, but of course it's fine to use your platform to praise Trump anything for cult leader. Including in the classroom where we've seen Oklahoma's superintendent go for wood purchasing Trump Bibles. Yes, Donald Trump's Bibles to put in every classroom, not only a violation of the First Amendment, but of course a way to send more money to Donald Trump. Luckily, he was called out for that. A clip I want to check out right here.
The books you bought from what you raised in your Twitter handle, I just saw a link to that, was the Trump endorsed Bible. That's $60 a pop. There are many Bibles available that are less than half of that. Why are you using the Trump-endorsed Bible? What do you say to critics who argue this is clear-cut political pandering right here?
What I would tell critics is we're going to teach American history in Oklahoma. So that includes the Bible, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and Bill of Rights. They are all included in this Bible that we've purchased. The Bible will be back in every Oklahoma classroom. President Trump is bringing...
Why the Trump Bible, though? Why not a cheaper Bible where you could save a lot of money in taxpayer dollars?
I just told you. All of those documents are in this Bible that we purchased for our kids so that they could understand the full context of the founding documents. So we have the Bible, the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights. These are all so important in our students understanding what makes America the greatest country in the history of the world. And again, look, the media doesn't have to like it, but the reality...
It is going to be a long and difficult 4 years, but it will only be more difficult if we do not call these people out. And that is what we're going to be sending every single day on the show doing. If you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video, and if you're stuck around at the end, you can drop blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.